Giannis Antetokounmpo recently made it clear that he would never leave the Milwaukee Bucks unless the franchise forcefully traded him. However, Shams Charania followed that up with a report hours later that the possibility of Giannis wanting to leave the Bucks, if they're not competitive, continues to loom large. While the situation seems fluid, it seems we have to continue monitoring it. The New York Knicks would be a solid home for Giannis if he ever decides to leave the Bucks. While he did joke about wanting to see Nikola Jokic as the future face of the Knicks, it seems like Giannis would make a great choice alongside their core of players like Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart. However, acquiring Giannis will cost them a highly talented player themselves. New York Knicks receive Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pat Connaughton, Tyler Smith. Milwaukee Bucks receive Karl Anthony Towns, Precious Achiuwa, Miles McBride, 2025. First round pick, via wash, 2030. First round pick, swap. This deal sends Giannis to the Knicks while sending Karl Anthony Towns to the Bucks in a blockbuster swap. The Bucks can remain competitive by pivoting to a better rounded core, including gets like McBride and Achiuwa, while the Knicks add Giannis as the final piece to push them to a championship. The Knicks have already shown they can be a competitive group, but if they fail to win a title with their current core, it'll be hard for them to pass up the opportunity to land Giannis if he is available. This is presumed to be a scenario where both the Bucks and Knicks underperform in the playoffs and potentially are victims of early exits. Giannis is averaging 31.5 points, 12.1 rebounds, and 5.8 assists this season. He would be a dream fit into the Knicks' aggressive defensive system as the perfect final addition to Tom Thibodeau's system. He would be an imposing do-it-all defender while being a consistently reliable downhill offensive option. His on-ball playmaking chops could help the team, while a Jalen Brunson and Giannis two-man game would be incredibly lethal. Losing Towns isn't easy, but it might be the best outcome to move him to land a player like Antetokounmpo. He could make them one of the best defenses in modern NBA history, while adding enough offensive production to take them over the top alongside Brunson and 3-and-D stars like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart. The Bucks have already sold draft capital worth their entire future to assemble the core they have right now. Instead of trading him for draft picks, which would vary in value, they can land a sure thing like Towns to keep them competitive for the duration of years they don't have their picks. Towns is a year younger than Giannis and is averaging 24.9 points and 13.5 rebounds this season. While he doesn't deliver the same caliber of impact as Giannis would, he would make the Bucks a more dynamic offensive setup as a three-level scorer. He and Damian Lillard would torch opponents regularly, and this deal adds additional depth as well. Precious Achiuwa could be a useful frontcourt piece, averaging 7.2 points and 6.1 rebounds this season. Tyler Kolek is a point guard for the future and could be their backup guard as soon as next season. Miles McBride is even more impactful, averaging 9.4 points this season as a backup guard. Imagining Giannis leaving the Bucks is sad, because he's one of the few one-team bastions in the NBA. But if he is to be sent away from the Bucks, I can't think of a better fit for him than a team like the Knicks. It's a major media market with a ready-made contender and a clear vision to contend for championships. Giannis would be the perfect final piece for them. The Bucks will remain a feisty team in the East, with a Towns and Lillard duo. The improved depth around this core could lead to some sort of benefits and an ability to pivot the roster into the next era. The pick return isn't major, but it is worth something. While Tao